Welcome to MR8 Essential Training, lesson number 4, contacting custodians. In this lesson, we will learn how to generate first call lists, task lists, how to schedule pickups, or some of you might call this set desk, entering fee check requests, moving work to the next step through the tracking, and also entering billable services. Let me define what a first call list is. A first call list is a list of new work orders or parts that need to be scheduled for a first call. Now, in your firm, you might have a different way of finding out what locations to call by expediters, but I just wanted to show you one way to figure out what work orders to work on first to generate a first call. In MR8, go to Orders, and we'll be using a function called Daily Orders Audit. I'm asking MR8, show me all the new orders that are entered today. We haven't entered anything today, so let me go back like last week when we were entering some work orders, July 30th. Search. It'll show you whatever period you select, most likely daily. So you're asking the system, show me all the work orders we entered yesterday. Now once you have the list of all the new work orders generated for a given period, simply go into each one, View. In the Additional Information tab, Action Type, I'm going to select one I generated first call and say we should call this location August 10th. This is kind of a reminder saying that I want to make a first call August 10th for this work order, and save and close. And then you go through the rest of the list doing the same thing. Once you have the action date, then you can use the task manager to bring up the list of all the work orders having a certain action date or range. So that's one way of generating a first call list, and we'll go over several other options when we go over the task manager function. Now let's look at the task list, also called a to-do list, or some people call it a call list. Is a list of work orders to be worked on. When you come in each morning, you need to figure out what do we need to work on today? Who do we need to call? You might generate 50 work orders a month, 10,000 work orders a month. You need a function called Task Manager to show us what to do. There's an icon for a Task Manager, which is kind of a clipboard. So let's go click on that. The Task Manager has a lot of search filters on the left-hand side to basically help you to pull up a list of work orders many different ways. Since our work orders are driven by action date, let's say today is August 10th. Action date from 10th to 10th. I do on a daily basis, and you say search. Basically brings up all the work orders, and you're supposed to do something on 10th of August. The next example might be, we know which order number to work on. Let me go ahead and erase everything. And this time I'll put in the order number 5002, search, and it brings up 11 work orders or parts belonging to this order number 5002. Then you can sort by the part number, whichever way we want. And that brings up all the things you need to do, and then different colors indicate the different status of each work order, whether they are in progress or records delivered, obtained, contacting custodian. So this tells me what's going on, and then I can work from here. Next example might be, we assign the case to each processor. Then you can use the search filter called processor. You don't see it here because those are the additional search filters. So we put it in the area called more options. So you expand that and get more filters down here, and then there's a processor. So let's say my name is Alicia Smith. I'm the processor, and that's me. So let me select myself, and then I'm going to ask MR8, show me every case that has been assigned to me. So I'll go search. I'm working on right now 43 work orders. So that's one way you can pull it up. The last example I want to show you, let's say you are a manager and you have 20 different processors working on various different cases. And your job is to monitor work orders more than so many days old and still not in the right status. I want to see something happening within 60 days from the date of we received the work order. I want to see all the work orders that has been ordered up to, and then I pick a couple months before, that are still in a particular tracking status. For example, contacting custodian. So if we are still contacting custodian and work orders more than 60 days old and I want to know about it, I go search and I have 11 work orders out of 10,000, which is good. I like to group this by processor so that I can go talk to Alicia and Larry and Nancy and Naomi individually to find out why they're still sitting on this particular status after this many days old. So there are many ways you can use the task manager function to pull up your task list. The possibilities are endless. If you kind of review the search criteria filters, we've pretty much given you every possible way you can pull up the list of work orders. Let's see what we can do with each work order. Let's go to task manager. I'm going to use my action dates. Today is August 10th. Show me what I need to do today. I have 4 work orders to work on. We're going to call Memorial Hermann Hospital. Go to schedule pickup. And this is the tab where it shows me what I can do. I called the location. More accurately, I'll call the ROI handled by. So I call this number and ask for Joanne if I know the contact person's name. And she got Josephina, all the interrogatories. So let's say mail is the scheduling type, which is the default. And the person says, we'll mail it tomorrow. So I'm just go ahead and put this in here, the date they are mailing. Make a note of the conversation I'm having with the custodian. The custodian call was made. Joanne says, record in the mail by August 7th. And then you save. So we know exactly what went on when you called Joanne. So I'm going to put an action date to follow up. That's my responsibility. So if I go back to additional info tab, now my action type will be the item that I created called follow up on record promise. Since she's mailing the record on August 7th, and I'm going to allow until 14th, maybe on the 17th of August, I should do a follow-up on this record promise. So I'm save and close. Took care of that, and let me go ahead and call Sugarland Imaging Center. And again, we go to schedule pickup. Well, they don't mail this stuff. We have to send somebody to pick it up and make a duplication of that. So I have to go pick up. You can either pick up by your own people or third party, you outsource the pickup. Either way, let's say we have somebody have a small pickup truck and they said we can come out next Monday, August 10th, and you can just put in whatever special notes for the runner. Again, you will go to notes log and make a note of the conversation you're having with this person. Meanwhile, we're going to incur some cost. Every time we go out there, it costs us $75 to duplicate those x-rays. These are called billable services. You need to add those billable services to this work order to eliminate someone to write all these things down on the billing sheet and push that piece of paper around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pass-through cost of a long distance call. I spent 30 minutes calls to London, and I saved that. As far as the amount or rate, that's a billing person's job, but my job is to make a record of what I did. Anytime I make a long distance call or make a copy of the x-rays or hire a courier, those are our costs that we need to bill the client in the future, and you will be entering those as a billable services while you are working on this particular work order. In the tracking tab, now you're pushing status tracking to a different step. So save that. Let's say we did all these steps. I'm just going to change the step to contacting custodian, make whatever notes you need to make, and then go OK. Since the contacting custodian is being published when I created the tracking steps, if you have an MR web, your clients now will see when they log in and then look at the order status online, they'll see that we are actually contacting custodian, and then they'll see all my remarks. When I was talking to a custodian at the Sugarland Imaging Center, they said, oh, by the way, we need a fee of $50. As a processor or case coordinator, my job is to request a check. So you go to Actions, Request a check, and all the defaults will come up. The only thing you have to put in will be check amounts, let's say 50, and payee will be same as custodian or location, so that's the default. Otherwise, you can change it to other location, such as a doctor's billing services or ROI handled by, or firm, such as Kinko's or ABC duplicating company, those three choices. And this time we are paying the custodian. And you can put in the memo line, their reference number or their invoice number and remarks, and then you request a check. Since remember we are picking up, I need to assign somebody to go out here. So right below pickup, runner is your field rep. It's a field agent that go around and pick up records. So I'm going to look up our runner list, select, and then I'm going to give him the notes, where to go and what to bring and things like that. Once you assign a runner, we have a function to print all the runner worksheets, or you can email the runner worksheet so that they'll know exactly where to go and what to pick up. So again, to kind of a recap, we did schedule, we made a notes of the conversation, we asked for a check from our accounting department, and we pushed the tracking steps to whatever step you are doing. We enter some billable services for the billing department in the future, and I assigned a runner who will go out and pick up this record. Going through the list of your work orders, whether you're calling or following up, is exactly what task manager function is designed to do.